UFC 311 Makhachev versus Tsarukyan 2 is upon us. It is fight weekend. That means we have to get our predictions right, and Mr. Kenny has to come in clutch. Listen, this card, bro, like, I don't know about other people, but, like, I have a lot of my favorite fighters on this card, so a lot of nervous energy because, brother, like, if the people who I want to win lose, it's going to be a really long year for me. And then I got Adesanya card. Like, bro, there's so much. I've been stressed, man. I've been stressed, but I got to lock in like a real bad man. I got to put my biases aside for this video. So even if I like a fighter, you know, you never know what I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to say something truthful because Mr. Kenny is a truth speaker. And I want to start off the year with the first pay-per-view going 100% on the entire card. So if you want the best parlays, the best picks, brother, you came to the right channel. So let's go through the full card prediction. I'm talking from early prelims to the main event, and I'm going to cook on every single one of these picks. Starting with the first fight of the night. We got someone from Team Khabib's camp. We got Tagir Ulanbekov versus Clayton Carpenter. This guy seems like he looks like a carpenter. Like, he looks like he would actually be a carpenter. He's actually 8-0. This is not going to be probably the walk in the park that a lot of people are anticipating. It's not like Tagir is going against a bum. You know, they could easily have put Tagir against like a person who's going to go in there and just like lose. But they gave him a hard competition, and he's going to open up the card because they know this fight's going to be pretty competitive. It's going to be a banger. Tagir fights at flyweight. He's 5'7" and pretty rangy. So like, he's a flyweight, but he's actually pretty long for the weight class. So he's going to have the reach advantage here. And I think if I'm Tagir, I'm going to keep Carpenter at bay. If I'm Carpenter, I'm probably going to want to shoot and mix in something, because if he's going to try to go strike for Tagir, I don't think it's going to work. Of course, Tagir can wrestle, brother, you know, Dagestani background when needed to, but he's more of like a Saeed Nurmagomedov. I feel like he's the type to like want to strike before he wrestles, but it doesn't mean he's opposed to wrestling, because he will wrestle when he needs to. But I feel like he's one of the more dynamic strikers from Dagestan, so don't be surprised if he doesn't shoot like right off rip. So I feel like Tagir is going to use his striking a little bit, you know, see what he's working with. And then depending how Carpenter comes in, he might, like, Tagir might wrestle, but I just feel like overall it's going to be a close fight. It's going to be competitive, but I'm going to have to put my pick on Tagir Ulanbekov. I can't say his last name for some reason, but Tagir. I got Tagir going in there, and I got him imposing his Dagestani will, and he's going to start off Team Khabib right, man. We need this dub to start off the card, and like, I think we're going to see Khabib in the corner for this fight too. So yeah, bro, this is a good opener to start off the card. And it's going to be competitive. Like I said, undefeated prospect against Tagir, who only has 2 losses in a UFC career. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be close, but I do got Tagir via just Team Khabib maxing, you know what I'm saying? Tagir is going to open up the card with a W. Moving on to the next fight. Okay, Ricky. When I catch you, Ricky. We got Ricky going against Bernardo Sopaj. I don't know much about either fighter. I just know they're both coming off of losses. But I do know Ricky Turcios, whenever I see him fight, he looks kind of shit to me. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to, like, roast him as a human. Roast that as a human. I'm not trying to get too critical with the guy, but he just doesn't look that good. I feel like this is going to be a fairly easy win for Bernardo. The odds are, like, Bernardo is a pretty favorable, pretty big favorable favorite in this matchup. And I do think it does make sense why. I feel like Ricky's kind of like not overrated, but he's just not that good. And I feel like a lot of people know he's not that good. I don't even know too much about Bernardo, if I'm being honest, but there's a reason he's on the early prelims. But he is coming off a loss too, so they're both coming off of losses. It's going to be like who wants to get back in the win column. And I just don't look at Ricky as some like elite bantamweight. So I feel like every time I see him fighting, I don't feel comfortable picking for him. So I will be picking against him. I'm going to go Bernardo Sopaj. And I think he's going to win by either KO or points. Oh, yeah. And by the way, Tagir fight, he's probably going to win by points. But he could also finish him. I don't know. Tagir, just go Tagir money line if I'm you guys. But yeah. And then Ricky is going to lose probably he might get finished by Bernardo. It depends how Bernardo comes out, though. But yeah, Bernardo Sopaj, definitely going to be my pick for the night. Moving on, though, to Nakamura versus Munion Gafurov. Gafurov is like, he's a favorable underdog against Nakamura, and I know why, because Nakamura has like a lot of hype. He's a really good striker. He's undefeated. He's 9-0. He's talented. I smell upset, and I want you guys to know this, and I want to be, listen, I don't usually like go ham for underdogs, and I'm not going to say, oh, Gafurov is 100% going to win this, because he's lost a good amount of fights in the UFC so far, but his pressure is really good, and I like what I see from his pressure. Nakamura is really good. He's a really dynamic striker. He has heavy hands. He can like scramble pretty well too. So it's not like it's going to be like a one-sided fight either way. It's going to be very competitive, but I don't know how Nakamura is going to do when his later rounds and Munion is still walking forward and walking him down. I don't know if he's going to like fold. I'm assuming not, but he kind of throws with reckless abandonment too. And Gafurov's overhand, like, it's so quick. Like, it's so quick. It's like a sniper. So Nakamura got to be careful, and I know he's a huge favorite or a favorable. He's almost a minus 400 favorite. Are you kidding me? Like, I don't really agree with those odds. And I think you're going to be surprised at how good Gafurov is going to do. And I do got Gafurov actually pulling up a big upset. This is going to be probably the biggest upset of the card considering the odds. Like, there's no odds that are this bad on the card. But is there a world where Nakamura can go in there and starch him? Yes, but I am going to go underdog. I am going to go underdog for Gafurov. And I really feel like he has what it takes. He can wrestle too. He's from Tagistan. He can wrestling. His wrestling's there, but like his overhand and his pressure, I think that's going to be his key to victory. He could run into something dangerous from Nakamura because Nakamura is explosive and does hit pretty hard, but I don't think Nakamura is going to see 10-0. I think he's going to be 9-1 after this fight. So if anyone's going to do it, it's probably going to be Gafurov. It's a good challenge for Nakamura. If he does pass this challenge, he's a talented fighter. He is already a talented fighter. He doesn't need to beat Gafurov, but I just feel like Nakamura is like going to be in too deep in the waters for a fight like this. So I am going to go Gafurov. Probably by decision. I can see Nakamura starting out the first round really well, winning the first round, and then the second round, Gafurov's pressure starts to get to him. Then third round, like Gafurov might just out pressure him, then cinch in a takedown, solidify that round. So I do think, let me get all these specific right here. A Mr. Kenny specificity. I cannot say that word. 29-28 Gafurov. That's how I'm feeling. I'm just feeling like it. So this is an upset for me, but I watched both of their film before this. I was watching like how both of them fight. Nakamura is really good when you give him some space and like let him dictate the pace, but Gafurov does a good job not letting you dictate the pace. And it has been to his demise sometimes. Like he kind of ran into Saeed Nurmagomedov and like kind of gave him a choke. But, you know, Saeed's also pretty good, too. So, yeah, listen, I do think Gafurov's going to pull it off. So, yeah, trust me. You know, I'm an Ilya Taporia max with this one. Trust me. Put him on. I want to put him on, like, your, like, 100% parlay. I'm going to get into what my 100% parlay is going to be later on in the video. But I would throw him on a parlay or an individual pick just because the odds just don't make sense to me. But next fight, moving on. Interesting fight here, brother. We got the, you know, Alini Perez, you know, really real big. You get me, bro? Like looking real good. Face card is like, but versus Carl Rosa. This fight's interesting. The only reason I think it's like so like interesting to me is because I know what Perez is gonna do. She's gonna try to go in there and wrestle Carla Rosa, but Rosa's low kick, it's like against Irene Aldana, she was destroying her legs, bro. And I know she's gonna come up with the same approach. And when you have no legs and you're trying to wrestle like Perez, that's gonna be a huge like problem. And Rosa is a pretty decent favorite for this fight as well. And I don't blame the UFC for doing that or like the odds makers for doing that because I can't see a world where Rosa's kind of just picking apart Perez like pretty badly. But Perez is running like a 4-fight win streak. He's running crazy momentum. So if anything could happen crazy, this is a woman's fight. This shouldn't count to my mystic, you know, predictions. But listen, it's tough, man. It's tough. And I was like Rosa, I don't know how good her defensive grappling is because no one really shoots on her that much. She has a 68% takedown defense, but I still don't know like I don't remember anyone really shooting on her like crazy. She usually just stands and bangs with them. Perez is not going to let that happen. I think Perez has the strength to actually take her down and make the fight interesting. Despite Perez being the underdog, I actually might lean Alini Perez. I don't know why I'm taking underdogs in this card right now, but it's just like some of these odds I'm like questionable. Is there a world where Rosa uses that low kick and just eats up Perez? Yes. But I feel like in my heart that like in women's fights in general, bro, they're probably all going to go the distance. Right? Like, all they're going to be like kind of goofy looking. But I do think Perez, if she could like just implement her game plan of taking her down, or even if she doesn't take her down, working with her against the fence, because I do think Perez is good at that. She gets still a decision win, and I'm gonna go the underdog again, and I'm gonna go Alini Perez by decision. But we'll see, brother. Dale, it's gonna be a good fight, and I just want to see a torque session at the end of the fight. All right, let me just say this: if I was wrong about this prediction, I was only wrong because I just want to see some torquing at the end of the fight. That's it. But moving on from that fight, woo! Dale, chat. Grant Dawson versus Diego Ferreira. Let me just say this: Grant Dawson is like arguably like he's top 6 in skill in the lightweight division. I know that's a hot take. He's the closest thing to Khabib that we have. Like, no joke. His wrestling's actually really good. Like, but Bobby Green finished him, dude. That's a fluke, bro. That's Bobby Green finishing him is equivalent to Islam getting finished by Pantoja's doppelganger way back when. Grant Dawson's good, you know. I'm telling you, he's good, and he's really good. Like, he's abnormally good. He's better than what we're used to. This is an easy win for him. He's gonna go in there. He's gonna maul Diego, brother. You know, change his face. You know, his face's appearance, brother. You know, it's only fitting that there's a lot of Dagestanis on this card because Grant Dawson is a Dagestani at heart, bro. Grant Dawsonetov. Grant Demedov. You know what I'm saying? Nurmagomedov. I really think Grant's going to go in there. He's going to impose his wrestling will. Like, have you ever seen Grant Dawson just really go in there and just grind out an opponent? And he's always active on the ground. He's literally like one of the more entertaining fighters in the UFC, just because when he takes you down, he wants to change your appearance. Like, he wants you to go home, look in the mirror, and not recognize yourself. I like that kind of ground and pound. I'm going Grant Dawson. We'll see if Diego Ferreira can last to the end. I mean, I doubt it probably, but we'll see. Anything's possible, but I do see Grant Dawson mauling him regardless for the entirety of the fight. He might not even lose a single round, including the first. And Grant Dawson's like striking is not bad too. Like, he just got caught against Bobby Green. Trust me. You know, trust me. Still a great fighter. And I am on the Grant Dawson hype train. Whatever. Listen, if you're not on the Grant Dawson hype train, you probably you haven't lived, brother. You know, just dabble into the market of Grant Dawson. You're gonna understand once he's like top 3 ranked. You know, maybe title challenger. You're gonna understand why he's so good. But yeah, Grant Dawson. He's definitely going to go in there and he's going to roll through Diego Ferreira. I love Grant, but moving on. You know, moving on to the next fight. Early prelims check. Now we're into the prelims. Zachary Reese versus Cedric Dumas. Dale. Both of them are like, kind of like, despite their records, like, Zachary Reese has 1 loss. Dumas has 2 losses. They're both like, they're good. They're good for their weight class. Middleweight has like the top of the middleweight who are like a lot better than people like this, but these people are still good. They're both good strikers, you know what I'm saying? They're both like gonna prefer to strike. If anyone's gonna wrestle, it's gonna be Zachary Reese, because Dumas' wrestling defense is like all questionable. You know, Zachary Reese 6'4", Dumas 6'2". I'm actually surprised that Reese has the height of it. For some reason, I thought Dumas is taller. I don't know why. Anyways, but yeah, as far as the striking, because they're both primary strikers, I look at Zachary Reese striking. I think it's more fluent and more like elegant. Dumas has like a questionable cardio. I don't know like why he throws his punches so labored later in the round. So I don't know. I think Zachary Reese actually might, you know, outpoint him, bro. Like, he just, look at him, bro. He actually looks cowabunga. He looks like he says, yeah, dude, rock on, dude. You know, I'm trying to catch some waves, dude. So I got Zachary Reese via cowabunga KO or points. That's how I'm feeling right now. Reese is tough, you know. Of course, he has 1 loss, and but like, I don't see Dumas doing anything abnormal. Dumas, like, BJJ low-key slept on though. But if they do wrestle, I see Reese controlling him for majority of the fight. Dumas not really going to be able to throw anything up. And if they're striking, I still got Reese there. You know, power for power, they're both powerful, but I do think Reese is just a little bit more technical and more sharp. So I'm going to go Reese. Zachary Reese for this pick, and I feel like Zachary Reese is going to give Dumas a lot of problems, bro. Dumas is still, like, he's going to be tough. He's going to be game for, like, the first round, but the second and third, we'll see, brother. I doubt it. I got Zachary Reese starting to pull away, but, yeah, that's my official pick. I'm going Zachary Reese, probably by points, but a KO is definitely very possible. Dale. You guys know how I feel about my boy Jonathan Almeida, bro. The best heavyweight in the world, brother. Yo, I don't glaze, first of all. This is not glaze. It's warranted. You know what I'm saying? Is Spivak's a dog? Yo, don't get it twisted. Spivak, the polar bear looking at it, he tough. You know, that little polar bear dude. He tough. Like, but they don't understand how good Jonathan Almeida. But Kenny, dude, that Curtis Blades fight, man. What a Curtis Blades, you knocked him out going. Bro, fluke. That's the same as, like, bro, every great fighter on their way to the title probably gets fluked, unless you're Habib maxing, you know what I'm saying? He is Habib maxing the way he fights, low-key, but like, it was an unlucky situation. He learned from it. Spivak has no chance. Spivak's gonna get wrestled, bro. Spivak's gonna get wrestled immediately, like Hamza Chimaev style. Jonathan Almeida is the Hamza of heavyweight with more cardio. Imagine Hamza with more cardio. Boom. Imagine Hamza with more cardio, with the crazy physique, Brazilian, and says dale. Then you get Jonathan Almeida, brother. This guy, he's going to smash him. He's going to take him down. He's going to do what he wants with him, bro. You know, maybe put him in an arm bar a little bit, let go of it, put him in a guillotine, lift him off his feet, spin him around, slam him, elbow. He's going to smash him. I'm, like, jokes aside, though, Spivak's tough. Spivak's not going to just, like, let him do what he got to do, but Spivak will probably be defending a little bit, but like eventually the chain wrestling of Jonathan Almeida is going to overwhelm him. He's going to start to drown. He's going to be like, I'm not built for this. Like, can you please stop being mean and just let me go and let me survive? And then Jonathan Almeida is going to be like, nah, brother, shama. And he's going to finish him with some kind of choke. Yeah. Other than the Derek Lewis fight, he has a 100% finish rate in the UFC. So I know people are like, oh, he's boring, dude. He goes the distance all the time. He went the distance once in his fucking UFC career. Stop being dumb. Like, don't fall victim into people who just watch one fight and then they say, oh, he's boring because he always goes the distance. Stop being an idiot. Like, don't be goofy. He's going to finish him probably by submission or like I can see like Jonathan Almeida pouring down some punches and Spivak's like, stop. I can't, man. Stop, dude. Stop, man. And then he stops, and the ref stops the fight. But Jonathan Almeida, after he destroys him, I hope he's back. I hope he's in the title picture. You know, because I don't know what Jones is doing. I think Jones is probably going to vacate. I don't think he's going to fight Tom Aspinall. So maybe after he wins this and Jones vacates like 2 months later, because he's going to like kind of stall Aspinall, make Aspinall wait, and then he's going to vacate. Then we could do Jailton Almeida versus Aspinall for the vacant belt, because Cyril Gane after that performance, he ain't going to get, fuck that. He ain't going to get put in the title picture, in my opinion. So yeah, after Jailton Almeida destroys Spivak and submits him and finishes him, brother, and changes his face, brother, title shot opportunity next, in my opinion. But dale, brother. Moving on from my GOAT, Jailton Almeida, let's see the next fight on the card. He's back. Slick back Peyton Talbott. 9-0. This is the second 9-0 fighter on the card versus Ronaldo Barcelos. Don't even know much about you, but what I do know about him is that he's put into this fight to get mollywopped and for Peyton Talbott to get a good, like, easy finish. However, I could see it being more difficult than that. But I don't even know too much about Barcelos. But what I do know about him, what I've seen from him, he's primary as a striker, right? So they're putting him against someone who's primary striker because they want him to have like a stand-up fight. If I'm Barcelos, I'm going to shoot anyways, even though I'm not experienced in that. He's Brazilian. Hopefully he knows some BJJ. But I do see Peyton Talbott ultimately like outstriking him. Peyton Talbott's striking is actually really good. Like, don't get it twisted. Don't be like, oh, dude, he's just getting hyped up because he looks like a surfer and he's all cowabunga, dude. I mean, that might be some of the reason. He has aura, that tattoo. You know what I'm saying? He looks like a fucking Mortal Kombat character. Like, he got aura, but yeah, his striking is actually legit. The way he like defends in the Contender Series when he's like doing backflips out of takedown attempts and stuff. He's actually athletic. He's talented. He's quick, and I do think he's gonna put the beats on Barcelo like Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Put the beats on him like Dr. Dre. He's gonna get that win like a real bad man. And the Peyton Talbott train will keep rolling. How do I feel overall about Peyton? Is like he's probably gonna be in the title picture soon. You know, like sometime in his career, he's good. Yeah, Barcelos is tough as well. Like I'm assuming he's tough just because he's Brazilian. He's Brazilian maxing. You know, Brazilians just come in there always trying to like play like party poopers and just ruin all these hype trains. He's gonna try to do that again. I just don't think Peyton Talbot the type you could just like end his hype unless you're like significantly good at something he's not. Like if this guy was an absurdly good wrestler or grappler, I would maybe like, okay, maybe. But he's a primary striker. You're not gonna outstrike Peyton Talbot. So I'm going Peyton Talbot probably by KO or points, and that's about it. Moving on to the next fight. Holy crap. Johnny Walker versus Anthony Smith. This fight's a banger, man. This fight Johnny Walker versus Bogdan Guskov. Yeah. Poor Johnny Walker. And I'm not saying poor Johnny Walker because like he's gonna clearly lose this fight. Like, Guskov is nothing crazy. Johnny Walker is just let me be fair to Johnny Walker. Yeah, he's getting chinned by like Jamal Hill. Where the last two people he lost to was Ankalaev and Uzdemir. He's not really losing to bums. Jamal Hill's not really a bum on paper. You know, like so like he's not. And he had that good little run. Like, Walker was on a good little run, you know what I'm saying? And he beat Khalil Roundtree, who gave Ferreira a hard fight. All right, I'm prime Walker maxing right now. But he is losing to good people. Guskov is actually not bad. Like, I've seen his footage. He actually moves pretty well. He's a pretty well-rounded fighter. Yeah, I think it's going to be a primary striking fight, this one. And I feel like it's going to be Johnny Walker getting chinned. I feel like, I'm sorry. Johnny Walker, like... He's gotten, I don't want to say he's gotten worse, but like his host, like he never sets his feet as much anymore. He's kind of just always all over the place. He uses a lot of movement that I feel like causes him to like get put in weird situations, fatigue a little bit. The way he throws his strikes are so off-putting. It worked initially because like he was just athletic. He could just athleticism his way to wins, but I feel like his athleticism is like, as you age, you're starting to slow down. People are starting to catch up and read your style. And I think Guskov's going to go in there and probably finish him. Guskov, of course, coming off a win. Walker, of course, coming off that Uzdemir beating. And I think Guskov does him pretty bad. Yeah, Guskov's going to be on the pressure. Walker's going to be on the back foot. And he's going to end up running into something, bro, unfortunately. Hopefully he doesn't get knocked out. I mean, I can say hopefully he's not going to be a bad knockout. But every single time Johnny Walker does go out, he wants to let everyone know, like, I got hit really hard. So he's going to probably do some weird shit and fucking flail around. But... yeah, I got Guskov winning. I can't. It's probably gonna be a KO as well. So that's my official pick for that one. Oh my God! Next fight, we got Kevin Holland versus Zeraider. Now this fight, what's interesting about this one? The rider is like trying to DDP max, but he's older than DDP, and he has less. I mean, his aura is pretty. I don't know, like his aura is not quite DDP level, but he's from the Netherlands trying to DDP max. You know what I'm saying? He's not South African, but Kevin Holland. He's a very slight favorite, by the way. This is almost pick him. The rider's a very small underdog. I think he's plus 125. Holland is interesting because Holland's like, I feel like he fights for checks now, which is fine. You know, he financially, whatever, trying to get yourself financially put. But this is finally an opportunity for Kevin Holland to go out there and show that he's game. And he's not like no rookie no more, or he's not like a bum. He's not just a gatekeeper fighting for a paycheck. And the Ryder, last performance, he looked like a little goofball, but he DDP max. He came in there, looked tired. He was getting beat up, getting smothered, and then he just finds a way to win. Of course, he was a champion in another promotion, so he's not like a random bum. He has great experience. He only has 2 professional losses, which is kind of crazy. I think it was to the same guy. But, Kevin Holland, on the other hand, just very unique style of fighter. I feel like he just fights like he's a street fighter. If you put like a very experienced street fighter, someone who just grew up fighting, put him in the octagon, give him some little training, you get Kevin Holland. Just like, plus the BJJ threat. But both of them have decent grappling, you know. The grappling, if it's a grappling fight, I can see Kevin Holland being a little bit complacent against the fence and kind of getting controlled by the Ryder. But the Ryder's just a weird character. Kevin Holland, I feel like on paper, this should be his, he should win. On paper, he should win. Similar to DDP, the Ryder don't read, so he's not going to listen to the paper. I feel like the Ryder's going to struggle in the first round, kind of get beat up a little bit, and the Ryder's going to find a way to just aura max his way to a victory. I just feel like he might DDP max until he gets to like legitimate comp. I'm not saying Kevin Holland's not legitimate comp, but let's be real, brother. Kevin Holland, brother, who this guy, brother? We have to check his grappling, brother, you know. Maybe striking a little bit. He was getting, like, Kevin Holland gets rocked a lot. He gets out-wrestled a lot. His hairline's like kind of receding a lot. Like, I'm not jacking this no more. So I'm feeling like he's starting to be on a decline. The Ryder, like, he's not like he's a youngin, but he might just use that fucking DDP-esque style to get a victory. And I can see him winning by points, probably. I don't think he's going to finish Kevin Holland. But this is a very 50-50 fight. I feel like my gut's telling me to go Kevin, though. Should I just be... What do I actually think should happen? I really feel like, honestly, Kevin Holland should win. Why? I just said the truth. I feel like Kevin Holland should win. So why do I want to pick the Ryder? Am I picking him for jokes? Fucking hell, why am I picking him? You know what, chat? I think I'm going to be honest with myself. The Ryder should, like I said, on paper, Kevin Holland wins. I got Kevin Holland. I have that gut. I got to be truthful because I think my heart wants me to say the Ryder's going to fluke his way to victory, but my head's saying, like, Kevin Holland's probably going to win, Kenny. Why are you being dumb? And I want to go 100%, so I'm going Kevin Holland. Fuck it, damn. Like, the odds are, like, essentially 50-50. It's minus 125 to plus 105, actually, which is crazy. That's, like, essentially pick him. But I'm going to go Kevin Holland because he should win, man. Don't lose this fight, Kevin. Don't make Mr. Kenny look bad. Moving on to the next fight. I love this fight so much for multiple reasons. We got Beneil Dariush versus Renato Moicano. Show me the money, huh? Yeah. Iran versus Brazil. Dude, Kenny, Beneil's chin's gone, dude. Moicano's gonna chin him. When has Moicano became a power puncher? What am I missing about Moicano that he's a power puncher now? Listen, I know Arman Tsarukyan and Charles aren't known for being... I mean, Charles, like, drops kind of everyone, though. But I know Arman Tsarukyan might not be known for the powerful puncher, but I also think Arman's a way more dynamic striker than Moicano, so it's easier to get caught by someone like that. I've seen RDA and Moicano, you know what I'm saying? Moicano is not, like, Moicano's best path to victory is going to be try to grapple anyone. Put Moicano against anyone, his path to victory is going to be letrazo. You're not doing that with Dariush. And also seeing when Dariush goes against good wrestlers and they're forced to strike, like Gamrot, he was putting the beats on him like Dr. Dre, you know what I'm saying? He put the beats on the boy like Marshmallow, bro. Like, he was overhanding him, he was kind of overhand maxing, Tyron Woodley maxing in there. And I think it could be very similar to Moicano, who, against BSD, when BSD couldn't even see, he was kind of piecing up Moicano. Moicano's gas tank didn't even look like it. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be the easiest Dariush winner. What's the odds for this? Plus 185 Dariush! Pick of the night. Because they like, what's that one quote that Adesanya said after he had that boring fight with Romero, then beat up Costa? Y'all must have forgot. You guys actually forgot. Why did you forget? Why is he plus 185? I might put the house on Dariush. You know what I'm saying? I might put the house on Dariush. Dariush is going to go in there. He's going to impose his dominance, man. I hate the fact. No, I love the fact that he's an underdog because it makes you happy, but just because you're losing to Arman Tsarukyan and Charles Oliveira doesn't mean you're a bum. You think Moicano's being Arman or Charles? Keep dreaming, brother. He gets finishes quicker by both. Actually, Dariush got finished pretty quick in those fights. But I don't know, man. I think Dariush is getting slept on, man. I think Dariush is going to go in there. He's going to hurt him. He's going to beat him up. Oh, he's going to outstrike him on the feet. Moicano's going to get desperate, try to wrestle. Dariush's scrambling ability is second to none. Like, people might just say you're just picking the old man, Kenny, but he's not old, man. He's like 33, 34. He has gray hairs already, but trust me, he's not that old. He's a nice guy. I don't know why people don't like him. But I am going to go Dariush. I can't believe it, bro. They're going to figure out that Moicano's not that good this night. night, and Dariush he's still a little bit game. I don't think Dariush is ever gonna be in the title picture, but he did have that long win streak before I believe the Charles lost. So don't sleep on Dariush. He's gonna beat Moicano. Moicano's not no Charles or Arman. He's not on their level. He's gonna get battered. So yeah, I got Dariush winning pretty comfortably. Next fight. Oh my God, chat. This fight right here, I'm like, I lost sleep like thinking about this part of the video. I lost sleep last night. I was like, Yuri or Jamal? Yuri or Jamal? And let me just tell you guys, first of all, the odds are -102 Yuri, -118 Jamal. This is pick'em odds. And let me tell you what's so impossible about this fight. Like, what you guys don't get about this fight, let me explain it to you. Let me explain to you how both guys could easily win this fight. Jamal Hill, questionable footwork, moves like a plotty platypus. You know how platypuses be like plaiting around? Like Perry, Perry, he be Perry with the platypusing all over the ring, dude. He's like webbed feet all over the place. And Yuri's awkward, going low, jumping in, boom, boom, boom. I can see him doing that weird shit, and Jamal Hill not evading correctly and getting caught and slept or like hurt. Like Yuri has power. Like even Rakic was like destroying him. Rakic is a lot better technically than Jamal Hill. I think Rakic beats Jamal Hill. Like Rakic beats a lot of people. I think Rakic beats everyone, including Ferreira. I even think Rakic beats Yuri in a rematch so much easier. I just think he can't beat Enclave. That's about it. But Rakic is really good. And the fact that Rakic was hitting him with some good shots, and Rakic has power, and he just kind of ate the shots and came forward and just overwhelmed Rakic was crazy to me. And when this fight first got booked, I remember saying Jamal Hill's going to whoop him. And this is the thing about Jamal. This is the other side. Now you know how Yuri could win because Jamal Hill's questionable footwork. Yuri's overwhelming pressure. I can see Yuri catching him. Now when I look at the opposite spectrum, Yuri Prochazka takes an absurd amount of damage. Jamal Hill does have power. I've seen Jamal Hill put people out cold and drop people. That being said, when he's coming in that plotty and he's having the fight with Jamal Hill and it becomes a dog fight. Let me just preface this, a dog fight. Look at any Jamal Hill fight that turned into a scrap. The Santos fight, you know what I'm saying, the Glover fight. Look at any fight with Jamal Hill that turned into a scrap. Tell me who came out on top. Jamal Hill's ability to like just go into a fight and outdog anyone is crazy. And I feel like that he could outdog Yuri and knock him out and finish him because Yuri's not defensively responsible now. The Alex Pereira fight wasn't a dog fight. It was more of a technical matchup. So if you're technical enough, you can knock out Jamal Hill. Is Yuri technical enough? I don't know. So it's completely different spectrums. Like I see a world where Yuri could just kind of eat some shots, walk forward, and then knock him out. And then I can see a world where like Yuri's just not defending intelligently, which is every world, and gets caught. And then like turns into a little scrap and Jamal Hill just comes out on top of that, Tough fight, I hate this fight so much. It's weird because I remember when this first booked, I was like, Jamal Hill's going to run through him. I was like, no way. Like, Yuri has no defense. Now the more I think of him, like, is Yuri just going to eat his punches? Is Yuri just going to walk forward and get beat up the whole time and then fucking land on Jamal? And Jamal's lack of footwork, is that going to cost him? Which is more likely? Like, which scenario is more likely? Between Jamal Hill, like, kind of just landing on him a lot and then, like, out-dogging him, or Yuri. I feel like the more likely scenario would be Yuri eating the punches and then coming forward and knocking out Jamal. But is your chin the same chin? After getting knocked out by Ferreira, did you just go to the woods and pray again and just, like, kiss nature and just, like, not actually train? Or did you actually go to a gym and start training? Defense. I feel like no matter how hard, his defense will always be lackluster. And do you want to get hit by someone like Jamal Hill? Oh, I can't be bothered. Oh, I hate this. Chat, do I have to pick? It's such a 50-50, man. I can't. All right, official prediction. Like, I got to follow what my gut's saying, dude. What's my gut really telling me? Like, what's my brain? My heart is telling me Jamal Hill. But I feel like my brain is telling me Yuri's just absurdly, like, he just knows how to. His pressure might be too much for the plotty footwork, the platypus foot. Jamal, man, I hate this fight, man. I'll say this. If you guys are going to put this on, probably not going to pick someone on my official parlay, but I'm going to say this fight won't go the distance because I know Yuri's either going to walk in, get caught with something, or he's going to come in and hurt Jamal. But you know what? I'm going to have to go my official pick. I'm going to have to go Jamal Hill. I do feel like Jamal Hill just, like, at his last performance, he has something to prove. He has something to show. And I feel like Yuri's lack of defense is going to cost him against someone like Jamal. Jamal only has 2 losses. Alex Pereira, then a fluke by Paul Craig. Paul Craig always flukes his way into shit, Yuri's just, I don't think Yuri's chin's going to hold up after that knockout, Yeah, I'm going to go Jamal Hill. I just feel like he's going to win, so I'm just going to say what I truthfully believe, but it's a very 50-50 fight. It's a very close fight. And listen, whoever you like more, chat, just pick them because good luck. It's a 50-50 fight, literally. Like, it's literally a coin toss. But yeah, Jamal Hill, official pick, probably by knockout, or definitely by knockout. Moving on to the people's main event. And that's no shade to Islam, but let's be real, chat. We all want to see this because all the shit talk, all this. And both men have 18 wins on their professional career. The only difference is one guy's 18-0, one guy's 18-4. But stylistically, they're very talented. But let me just say something that's pissing me off. Merab is currently a plus 260 underdog. Umar's a minus 325. Are you on? Who's intoxicated making this list? If you're a Merab fan, just throw all your money on Merab because this fight's 50-50 as well. Anyways, the build-up, I've been making a lot of videos on this build-up. You know what I'm saying? I love the build-up. I like the animosity. I like everything. You know what I'm saying? I like both guys. I'm a fan of both guys. It seems like I'm a little bit more on my channel lately than Umar, but trust me, I love Merab. The only thing I ever hated on Merab for was almost ducking, pretty much, this fight. But stylistically, this is very interesting because both guys are really good grapplers, really good wrestlers. Now, the Merab that fight Sugar gets beat up so bad by Umar that the fight should be canceled now. That's how bad that Merab would get beat up by Umar. The Merab who was kind of like lackadaisical, like kind of not lackadaisical, but was circling around with his back against the fence pretty much the whole fight. Then he'll come in and blitz in with a takedown and like score, or because like he'll catch Sugar off. Like that shit would not work against Umar. Umar would just kick you, keep you up against the fence, kick you into the fence. You know, just use his range and outwork him and destroy him 50-45, the easiest win of all time. However, the Merab that fought Yan, now we're talking business. Now we're talking. The Merab that fought Yan, 50 takedown attempts, only scoring what, 10? I don't even. That's like really. But like that Merab, what he did, he didn't allow Peter Yan, who's a way better striker. I think Umar's a way better striker as well. He didn't let him set his feet. He didn't let him set up his strikes. He overwhelmed him. Now you're probably like, but Kenny, that's not going to work against Umar. Let me tell you why that could work against Umar. When he's constantly doing that and not letting Umar set his feet, is Umar going to stuff the takedowns? Absolutely. Umar's going to stuff a lot of takedowns. He's going to have Umar against the fence. Umar's going to open his legs, you know, grab the arm, get out there efficiently, try to circle away. But what's happening when that's happening? Merab is technically winning the fight. If Merab could do that enough, smother Umar enough, and have him against the fence, and even though Umar's defending intelligently, he won't be letting Umar set his feet and get his kicks off, which is what he wants to do. He wants to get some space and get his kicks off. He's not going to let that happen. Now, if he can continue to do that, it's going to come to a point where late in the fight that Umar's just so like, okay, the takedown's coming. I got to have the time. So when he's like expecting the takedown, you might get hit with an overhand and then into a takedown. And then Merab starts to overwhelm him. I can see a world where that happens as well. That's what Merab should do. The Merab that fought Sugar was way too patient. No way it will work against Umar. The Merab that fought Yan, I can see that working against Umar. Now, what's Umar's path to victory in this fight? Keep it at bay, you know what I'm saying, and shoot on Merab. Merab is always the hammer. Merab has never been the nail. Merab has got taken out like 3 times by what? Henry Cejudo. He's been taken down before. He's possible to take down. I think Umar's a more dynamic wrestler than Henry at this point of his career. I think Umar got to make him the nail. He like when he got to make Merab like get off the fence and like push off, and like he got to stifle Merab. He got to stifle him. He can't just be complacent with like, let me just kick out range. He has to mix it up. Now I heard Michael Bisping already made a video on it when Michael Bisping asked Merab, is it possible that wrestling can cancel out when you see a Kamaru Usman Kobe situation? And Merab said yes. Merab should not have said yes. Merab should say no matter what, I'm going to wrestle. Because if Merab falls into the delusion that I respect this guy's wrestling too much, so I'm going to strike with him, he lost the fight already. So, both guys, like I see both guys, a world of both guys win. This whole time I kind of been like saying I'm leaning Umar, you know. Both guys are having an injury, like Merab's leg's not okay. Umar's arm fracture still, it's not fully healed. Interesting fight. The odds are pissing me off. The odds make no sense. Like I said, Merab should be pick him. But I'm glad. I mean, not glad, but if you're a Merab fan, you should be glad that he's such a big underdog and just put your whole house on him. But who do I actually think has a, like I said, 50-50, but someone has a more likely chance of winning? And the guy with more chance of winning, in my opinion, this fight is Umar Nurmagomedov. And I feel like it's because Umar's striking is very dynamic. He knows how to mix things in together. You know what I'm saying? He's shown that even when someone can defend his grappling and get up like Corey and even Bexa, he has a striking enough to like overwhelm them there too. He outstruck Corey Sandhagen, you know what I'm saying? But Merab did outstrike Yan. You know, they both did it in different ways. Like Umar outstriking Corey was more impressive because he was actually outstriking Corey at range. When Merab was outstriking Yan, it was kind of like from in close, you know, from takedown attempts into takedown, you know what I'm saying? So it was very different. They both went against great fighters, you know what I'm saying? But like, of course, Merab on paper should be the favorite, in my opinion. He beat the better fighters in great fashion. Like, he's beaten all these greats in one-sided fashion, but I just feel like Umar is a different type of breed, and he's going to go in there. He's going to beat Merab Dvalishvili. He's going to be in new. So I do got Umar Nurmagomedov by decision, probably. It's going to be competitive. I think the early rounds, I could see Umar having the upper hand in the striking, and then I think as the fight goes, Merab's going to be a little bit more settled and then start to wrestle a little bit more, and that's when it become interesting. I think it could even be a split decision. You know what I'm saying? It could be that close. Do I see any guy getting finished? You know, I know Umar says be careful, I got submission game, and that's a negative. And the only reason I think it's a negative is because if Umar tries to jump a guillotine on Merab, he's going to give up a bad position. He's going to end up on his back, and Merab's going to end up riding out control time, so that's dangerous too. So like I said, this fight is so 50-50. The odds don't make sense. Don't listen to the odds. But I am going to give Umar the very slight advantage. Very hard pick. I actually almost switched my pick last second. I was doing a lot of thinking. I was doing a lot of watching film. And Merab's style, like the Merab that fight, the Yan, that Merab is just like, it's almost, I don't want to say impossible to beat that Merab, but it's very hard to beat that Merab. So if I'm Merab, have no respect for Umar's wrestling and just do what you got to do. If I'm Umar, you know, say make Merab wrestle and use those kicks at range, I am going to go Umar Nurmagomedov 5 points. That's my official prediction. But brother, Dale, this is going to be fight of the night, in my opinion. Could be fight of the night. Could be, but the reason I said it could be the real main event of the evening, you know what I'm saying? The fight that everyone's looking forward to. Islam Makhachev versus Arman Tsarukyan. Arman with 3 losses, of course. 1 being Islam, 1 being Gamrot. You know what I'm saying? In the UFC. And then Islam with a fake loss to Pantoja Doppelganger. This fight's interesting. This fight isn't, I wouldn't say it's like not as close as Merab and Umar in my opinion. I feel like Merab Umar is very 50-50. The odds for this fight though, like Islam's also a huge favorite here, which actually makes more sense. It makes sense on paper why Islam's a big favorite here, just because he has beaten way better people. You know, Arman's really good at striking. He's not a fundamental striker. I call him a frantic striker. So he throws a lot of spinning stuff and like a lot of like axe kicks and just weird spinning elbows and stuff. That doesn't really work against a southpaw, I'll be real. It doesn't work against a southpaw, like those spinning heel kicks. But he can still throw it. But, you know, I think Arman Tsarukyan is going to wrestle this fight more than you would expect. You guys probably say, okay, after the first fight, he's probably going to be a little bit more hesitant. No, I actually think Arman Tsarukyan is going to be very aggressive, and he's going to wrestle a lot this fight. And I feel like Islam Makhachev shouldn't want to wrestle him. I've seen Arman Tsarukyan wrestle Hamza. Like I said, he got himself in very good positions, but Hamza just overpowered him to get out these situations. Islam's not as strong as Hamza, especially that was Hamza in his walk-around weight. So, you know what I'm saying? If I'm Arman, I'm wrestling. And I don't know. Like, I really will. If you guys ask me who's the better grappler and wrestler, I'm going to say Islam. But like deep down in my heart, I don't know how truthful that is to myself. Because I really question that. Like, straight up wrestling. I don't know the truth, but I am gonna say Islam probably has a slight advantage. But like I know what I've seen from Arman, his wrestling has improved significantly. But another thing I've noticed from Arman, from every single fight I've seen from him, when he goes the distance, whether it's from Islam the first fight, whether it's against Gamrot, is that when he wrestles like that or like likes to wrestle, he fatigues considerably, and that's how he starts to lose like the later rounds. Obviously, he was so fatigued against Islam in the third round in their fight, in the first fight against Gamrot, 3, 4, and 5. He was fatigued already, you know, like. And it's because he does a lot of spinning attacks and a lot of like dynamic striking. Like, he's just doing a lot. That fatigues him. In addition to the fact that he's like wrestling a lot, that fatigues him. Islam's just a lot more smart in that department of fighting. I can see Islam just using his range, like waiting for Arman to make the move and then counter-punching off of that, because he's a very patient counter-puncher. Islam's patientness is what draws people out and pisses people off, because like he's always leaning back so far that they're like, I'm not in range. And then they want to come in and get in range because they think he's going to lean back, and that's when he slips and then lands something and then falls up. And yeah, if I'm Islam, I don't even want to shoot a single. He doesn't have to shoot a single takedown. Shooting a takedown, because Tsarukyan's always going to be ready to reverse it and like wizard his way out of some situations. The way, like, even I watched the first fight when Islam got into full mount, how good Arman is at using his hips and like just butterflying his way out of situations. He's just really good. Like, he's a really good grappler. That was young Arman. You can only imagine how much he's been training, like going against Hamza and all these guys and getting better. He's going to be ready for wrestling. But you know what I'm saying? Everything Arman does, I've said this before, everything Arman does, Islam does better. Striking, I think Islam does better. Wrestling, I think Islam does better. Grappling, I think Islam does better. Looking, who's better? Come on, brother. You know, real bad, man. My boy Islam, brother. Bro, listen, Arman Tsarukyan's really good. He's a future champion. No doubt. You know, after Islam packs it up, you know, moves out, brother, you know, retire a little bit, go or 6-7 years Dagestan rest and retire. I think that's when Arman Tsarukyan shines. But as far as this fight's concerned, like I said, it's not as close as Umar Merab. I really want to preface how close I think Umar Merab is. That's like an Aljo Mauser situation. While this fight right here is like, it's close, trust me. But I do think the guy with the most obvious chance of winning is going to be Islam Makhachev. And I know a lot of people want to be different. Yeah, dude, I'm going to go Arman Tsarukyan because it's just his time to shine, dude. Like Guru being, I see like some like other creators are saying shit to say shit, but deep down I think they know what's gonna happen and probably the truth. So I am gonna go Islam Makhachev by. I know he wants that Darce choke. He's got to be careful going for that though. But I could see every single like option, whether it's KO, because Arman has been rocked before. Could be KO, could be submission, could be points. I feel like the most realistic is points because I don't see Arman like being in a submission and kind of letting himself give up on him. So he's gonna fight through that submission as much as he can, but. It's going to be a banger fight. I think this might be one of the better fights of the night. Maybe the second best fight of the night. It could still Merab and Umar. Merab and Umar just Merab holding Umar against the fence. But, you know, it's going to be a good fight. But I am going to say my GOAT, my king, my friend, Islam Makhachev is going to pull it out the fire. No Leon Edwards moment. Just pull it out the fire because he's like that. So these are my official picks. Now, let me tell you guys like a parlay I'd go right now off the top of my head. These are parlays I'll go. Honestly, I'm not even going to touch this Takir fight. Like this, I'm going to call this one the guaranteed parlay. Okay, this is risky. So let me just guaranteed. I'll say Dawson winning. I'll go Almeida winning. Dariush winning. That's an underdog pick as well. I'm not even touching that fight. I got Yuri and Jamal not going the distance. I got Umar and I got Islam. That's my guaranteed 100% parlay. Now, this is what I call the Dale Frisky parlay. Oh, that was mad zest. All right. I don't know why I did that. Tagir. I'll put Tagir on that parlay. I'll put Gafurov, which is a huge underdog. I'll be a huge steal. Then I'll go Dawson, like I said again. I'll go Zachary Reese, Almeida. Just throw Payton Talbott on there. I'll go Guskov. I'll go, not touch that one. I'll go Dariush. Not touching that one still. And I'll go Umar and Islam. That's like my little bit of a, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm feeling like a real bad man parlay. But those are my official picks and my official parlays, brother. Trust me, Mr. Kenny, brother. We come, we saw, we conquer, brother. You know, I can't wait for this card. It's going to be one of the best cards of my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm excited for it. I really am excited for it. My anxiety is going to be up when the fights are happening. I like a lot of fighters here, but you know what I'm saying? Let's see if Father's plan could prevail. That's it for me. Hope you enjoyed, and God bless. 2, 3.